Awesome. All right, we will officially begin here as we are 2 o'clock Eastern on the hour here. But really excited for this session today here. Really appreciate Christine willing to come and share your expertise along with some of her colleagues, I believe, from that will be in the chat here and directly from the source at Alibaba. Of course, we talk sourcing a ton. We talk the importance, and largely we talk about Alibaba, but this is an exciting opportunity to connect. And I guess, Joey, you guys have met a few times too and chatted as well too. But anything else you want to add before you hand it over?
I'm just so excited. Write everything down in your notebooks because it is such an honor and a pleasure to have Christina here from Alibaba. And she's really sensitive to brand owners and knows a lot about buying. So let's all get ready because I'm so pleased to have you here. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you guys for the warm welcome. It's also my honor to be here. So I guess I'll quickly just introduce myself. My name is Christina. So I'm with the Alibaba.com North America office. Personally, I'm based in New York City. We have both team in Sunnyvale in the West Coast and also East Coast in New York City. And the goal for our team is to really sit alongside our North America buyers to hear about your experience as an entrepreneur, to really learn about, your pain points when it comes to sourcing from us and really transform those pain points into product service on Alibaba.com. So for me to be here, it's also a learning experience and also to learn something from you. And hopefully I can bring some insightful information from Alibaba.com as well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
So should I just go straight into the training then?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
it's all yours.
Great. So let me share my screen. Let me know once you guys can see it.
Yep, it's good.
Okay, great. So we have 3 sections for the presentation today, and hopefully I'll just keep this sweet and short. So the 3 sections, first I'm gonna quickly just give you guys an overview of who we are as Alibaba.com as a platform. And the second part is really a hands-on guide to Alibaba.com. I'm going to actually take you guys through the end-to-end experience on Alibaba.com and highlight some important service and program that you should be aware of when it comes to sourcing. And lastly, I also have a very special announcement for a new program that's coming to our platform. So without further ado, let's go into the actual trainings. So who we are. So I'm sure most of you guys here has maybe heard of Alibaba.com, used Alibaba.com before for sourcing, but we have been around for a very long time. So Alibaba.com is actually the first business within Alibaba Group when Jack Ma founded the company. But as we started out as really a yellow page to really facilitate cross-border trade for small, medium businesses. But in the past few years, we had a lot of revolutionary changes. But ever since inception, we have acquired over 40 million active buyers around the world. We have onboarded over 200,000 suppliers, both in China and also outside of China globally nowadays. We serve our buyers and sellers over 200 plus countries. We're also a full category marketplace. So you can think of any physical product, almost, you're able to find them on Alibaba.com. We cover over 5,900 product categories, and currently we have over 200 plus million listings on Alibaba.com today. We also really exist for a very diverse profiles of buyers. So no matter if you're manufacturers, wholesalers, just distributors, online retailers, service providers, we all have a solution for you. In the past few years, we're really dedicated to provide segmented and tailored services for buyers coming from different backgrounds. So people really can have their special needs and questions answered. So next, I'm actually going to take you guys through the entire Alibaba.com sourcing journeys. And we have some very well-made videos lately that I would love to share with you guys. So I know this is a pretty busy slides, but in short, so internally, we also kind of divided Alibaba.com sourcing experience into 5 steps. And some of you guys may know us, just as the yellow page for product discoveries, but nowadays we're actually capable to do a lot more than that. So we call those 5 steps: search, evaluate, negotiate, transact, and fulfill. And after this session, I can also share this with Joey and Jamie. So next time when you're using Alibaba.com, maybe you can reference this map. So on this map, we actually highlighted some of the important programs we offer for our buyers to be successful on each of those steps. And today I'm actually going to take you guys through them step by step. So let's dive in. So I'm going to actually combine the search and evaluate together because we internally call them the discovery phase on Alibaba.com. So the first important concept that I wanted to share with you guys is the 2 modes of search. So this is basically the first step that you need to make a choice because different buyers come to Alibaba.com looking for different things. So the 2 modes of search, one is search for product, and another is search for manufacturers. On our laptop version or mobile app version, you're able to see those 2 choices on the top banners. And I can kind of explain what those stands for. So for people who are searching for product, those are the buyers who have a pretty strong intention. For example, you are an Amazon seller, you use a product search tool and you find out that selling a water bottle and a specific type of design of water bottle is a great opportunity. Maybe you have an image, or maybe there's a listing that you have in mind that you're looking for that specific design. You can come to Alibaba.com, search for that exact product, search for suppliers who are able to sell you that product either as is or with light customizations. You're better off with the product route. For manufacturers, this is for someone is probably a little bit more savvy with the product development and product design side. So maybe you're trying to launch a product that's yet to exist on the market. So now you're really looking for a supplier partnership to really bring that vision to real life. Then now you're vetting the suppliers based on their capabilities instead of a specific product that you have in mind. I have 2 videos to kind of take you through like how to do both modes of search better.
Are you new to the app and wondering how can I locate the ideal product from millions of offerings of over 200,000 suppliers worldwide? Well, check out 2 ways to search for products on Alibaba.com. First, you can search by keywords. But choosing the right keyword for the product you have in mind can often be a complicated and mind-boggling process, especially if you're searching for the first time. But no worries, just like other search tools. Simply type in the relevant keywords under products and use the drop-down list with suggested trending searches to autocomplete your search query quickly and more efficiently. On the top of the result page, you can either filter for products that are customizable or ready to ship. There are also other filters of verified supplier and product-specific attributes that can help you refine your search results even more. Apply the verified supplier filter to see products offered by third-party verified suppliers only. Use the top keyword rankings of the product-specific attributes to get the most relevant search results. The filters icon on the top right, next to the search box, lets you specify your search even more, with options like minimum order quantity, price range, category, origin and destination of shipments, and a list of dynamic filters on product-specific attributes. And guess what? You can also search by image. Have you ever come across a picture on social media or something in real life and thought, this would make a great product for my business? Then our image search function can definitely help you from there. Just tap the camera icon in the search box where you can either snap a shot or upload an image. Our image search engine can help you quickly recognize and identify by deep diving into every variation and give you a list of the most relevant product suggestions. To get the best result, just make sure the image you upload is clear with the product placed in the center of the background. A bonus tip for comparing things like suppliers' pricing, qualifications, services during your search is using Find Similar, our new AI search tool. With just one tap on the bottom left icon and the product thumbnail image, Find Similar allows you to quickly and easily find and compare similar products. and streamline your sourcing process. Search, filter, stock up.
Yeah, so we cover the image search in the video. It's actually one of my favorite functions, and especially for the Amazon community, because I know there's a lot of cross listing, like check with, like, Amazon listings, and I'm very interested to find out who can supply that specific product. That image search can come in really handy because you're basically able to get the 100% match through that modes of search.
Check it. New to the app.
Technical difficulties. Then next up, I have a video for search for suppliers. The mode of search is slightly different, like I mentioned earlier.
New to the app and trying to decide which suppliers are better qualified for your business? Here's a simple guide on how to search for and evaluate suppliers on Alibaba.com. You can find suppliers by searching for products or manufacturers. If you know what products you want to source, search by keywords under products and filter for suppliers. Or search under manufacturers to help you build a product from scratch. Apply additional filters to refine your results. You can also tap the filters icon on the top right next to the search box and edit the origin and destination of shipments. Now comes the real challenge: how to evaluate all these suppliers to find the one. From the search results page, you can find out how long they've been selling on Alibaba.com, size of their factory, number of employees, etc. On the supplier's profile page, you can take a virtual tour around their factories or offices to get a like you are there feeling. Check out their response rate, online transactions in the last 6 months, and on-time delivery rate. After getting your first impression, refer to these standardized metrics, like their export markets. And check out their ratings and reviews to know more about the supplier you're seeing for the first time. On a final note, suppliers' professional capabilities and industry standard certifications are sometimes available to you to evaluate if they qualify for your business. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. How do I know what I see is what I get? This is where verified suppliers come in. Verified suppliers are suppliers who have had their store displayed information and capabilities verified by independent, world-renowned third-party companies like SGS, TUV, and Intertek. Simply filter for verified supplier or verified manufacturer during your search and get only verified suppliers in your results. Blue icons that look like this, and this are your cues to identify verified suppliers on Alibaba.com. Now it's time to build your next partnership. Search, evaluate, partner up.
Also, to add on to this one, because sometimes we do get questions from our buyers, especially buyer in the scaling and growth phase, because they have grown to a phase where they wanted to stop maybe sourcing through a distributors. They wanted to go straight to a factory and suppliers who is basically a manufacturer. The manufacturer tab and the manufacturer filter under the product is definitely your way to go to really filter out the distributors in the game. So I also have another very busy slides here, but those are some of the capabilities, digital functions that we developed in the past 2 or 3 years to really help our buyer to be successful in the discovery phase. So we mentioned about the image search earlier. Like I said, this is definitely my personal favorite. I definitely recommend people who hasn't really tried it to check out. So you're able to find the image logo right next to your search bar to access. RFQ, if you are an old visitor of Alibaba.com, you probably know this is one of our very long-standing, like classic search features. So the RFQ function, instead of you outbound search for suppliers, you're also able to provide those information about the product you're looking for, then the seller leads become inbound for you. So this is also a handy tool to really boost your efficiencies. we have really revamped our discovery phase with live streaming functions, short video format, virtual reality showroom. And those requests really came in, especially during pandemic when it made travel really hard. And I know if you're in the Amazon space long enough, most of you guys probably had a trip or two to go to Canton Fair to go visit partners in China. But it was extremely hard in the past few years. So we really wanted to take that communication discovery barriers out of your day-to-day. So we were able to really develop those digital alternative for you to have better communication and discovery experience with your suppliers. And I know we already covered this in the videos, but I do wanted to bring this up one more time. So the top most asked questions when it comes to buyer to us is, how do I actually filter for the suppliers? Because indeed, we have way too many options, in my opinions, on Alibaba.com. And the verified supplier is actually one of the most important filters that you should firstly check, because I think different people have very different interpretation on what verified means on Alibaba.com. Some people simply think, oh, maybe they have verified their phone numbers, their emails, their address. But we actually sent a ground team, and Alibaba.com in China especially, we have team in almost every single province where they're basically the account manager for the suppliers in that region. And we partner up with third-party inspection companies to ensure that we do our audit in person to ensure, the information they have submitted, the certificate they have provided are valid, are, real and authentic. So verified supplier, the blue check mark, as we mentioned in the video, is definitely your number one thing to check off when it comes to filter for the best suppliers on Alibaba.com. So next up is negotiation. And I know this could be a pretty daunting experience if this is your first time. And I actually have a inquiry checklist. I'm also able to share this as a PDF with Joey and Jamie after the session. So next time, maybe you can use this as a checklist when it comes to inquiries, because it is quite different from, as a consumer buying things off Amazon. There's a lot of things that you should ask for, especially if it's a cross-border transaction. We also have a short video talking about our communication tools and tips.
You found a product you're interested in,
but don't know how to connect and communicate with a supplier in an efficient and secure way?
Check out the 2 chat methods on Alibaba.com. Messenger is a chat tool that allows you to chat instantly with the suppliers. By tapping Chat Now or Chat on the product or supplier page, you'll initiate the conversation in Messenger, where you can type in your own questions or ask a standard one suggested by the suppliers, such as minimum order quantity, customization services, product catalogs, payment options, samples, lead time, and get instant responses. Whew. Looking for a quicker way to exchange contacts? Create your digital business card in Messenger and share it with suppliers with just one click. Having a hard time describing your needs? Send files, voice messages.
Do you make funny taco holders, like dinosaur-shaped, or
pictures and videos
to further explain your intent and avoid possible misunderstandings?
Dealing with a supplier who doesn't speak your language? Set up auto-translation for your incoming and outgoing messages to overcome the language barrier for a more effective cross-border collaboration. If you prefer a more direct approach, give the supplier a video or voice call right away. Or schedule a one-on-one meeting during their work hours. Another method to connect with suppliers is sending out a customized inquiry via the product page or the supplier page, where you can type in your detailed requirements or choose a question from the default question list. And you can even attach images or files to help suppliers better understand your requests. Now you may be wondering, how will I hear from suppliers after sending out my requests? Through the app, of course. but you can also receive messages via email with a validated email address. And WhatsApp by linking it to your Alibaba.com account. Happy with your conversations? Well, now it's time to place your orders. Connect, communicate, follow up.
We strongly suggest you keep all your conversations with suppliers within Alibaba.com to protect your orders and payments.
Yeah, so kind of just to add on to the last part of the video, because we do know that a lot of the conversation that started on Alibaba.com, people prefer, to move the conversation maybe to emails or WhatsApp. Right now, we do offer the capability to, link and get notification both on your emails and WhatsApp, which I definitely highly recommend you to check out those integrations, because if you are more native to WhatsApp, that's the best way for you to get notified as soon as possible. But we are actually pumping out more features in our communication tools, and those features are really tailored towards cross-border communications and cross-border transactions. You're able to reference your product, you're able to live translate your communications, and also a very special announcement. So we're actually having more AI driven features coming onto our communication tools in the next few months on Alibaba.com, where those features are able to help you summarize your communication with your suppliers. They're able to have an AI assistance where help you do cross communication comparison for a specific product. So definitely stay tuned for that. But we definitely encourage our buyers to communicate with your supplier more, especially if you do choose to transact on Alibaba.com, because in case down the road our team need to be involved for dispute or other support related matters, the communication on the platform will help us tremendously to get involved and be in the loop. And next up, we are going into the transacting phase. And I know this is probably the most nerve-wracking part. And it's very interesting because, like I mentioned earlier, Alibaba.com, as we started out as a yellow page. And this is what a lot of buyers still think we are today. But we actually offer a lot more than just discovery nowadays, and trade assurance is actually one of our most important product that we launched probably 7 to 8 years ago now. So we basically act as a escrow services. So let's say you find a new suppliers in China or in a different corner of the world, and this is a person whom you have never met before. You definitely don't feel comfortable just wiring transfer money to total strangers. Then Alibaba.com could actually get involved and become the third-party escrows, where we basically will hold your transaction values and until you receive your product. And we actually protect you through that transaction on multiple fronts. So we protect you from delays. We also protect you from this product quality issues. And we would only release the fund when you confirm receipt of your product. And if in case anything were to go wrong in the above mentioned factors, our team can also get involved in the mediation dispute process to help you resolve the issue with your suppliers.
Global trade can be highly unpredictable, especially when sourcing online. You want your purchase to be secure, delivered on time, and in the agreed upon condition. Introducing Trade Assurance on Alibaba.com, a comprehensive purchase protection program that protects you from payment to delivery, so you can source for your business with confidence every step of the way. Trade Assurance covers your order made on and only on Alibaba.com, and you get compensated if the agreed terms are not met. Ready to explore your trade assurance protections? Pay with peace of mind, knowing all payments made through Alibaba.com are encrypted, secure, and can be processed as quickly as 2 hours. Choose from a range of payment options and currencies, whether you're paying directly or later with our flexible payment terms. Your payment will be held in escrow, meaning the funds will be released to the supplier after you confirm the order has been delivered in the expected state. Manage your inventory as planned, knowing your orders are guaranteed to be delivered on time. And in the unlikely event of any inconsistencies in delivery times, product quality, or other agreed upon terms, we will help you reach a satisfactory resolution, including refunds or compensation. Be extra assured if you need additional support. We bring it home with a range of after-sales services. The Shield logo is your cue to identify a trade assurance supplier. On a product page, look for Protection with Trade Assurance to see what's covered and negotiate with the supplier on specific terms. Keep in mind, you can only get protection with trade assurance on Alibaba.com when you keep all your communication and transactions with the supplier on the platform. Protect your online business from payment to delivery with trade assurance, trusted by millions of buyers.
And also just to like add one point, because this is like a common question I actually get asked by a lot of buyers, especially buyers who transact a high amount on Alibaba.com, because our trade assurance orders not only take like transaction methods such as credit card, but we actually also do wire transfer, which can significantly reduce your transaction fee if this is your preferred payment method. Because I think there was some misunderstanding about if you just wire money, then your order is no longer protected through Alibaba.com trade assurance. But through your trade assurance, you're actually able to choose the wire transfer route just to reduce your transaction fee. And we actually offer services beyond our trade assurance escrow as well. As you know, cross-border trade is actually a lot more complex than, ordering things off Amazon. And logistics, custom clearance, there's a lot of things that could cause headaches. And we also wanted to be a one-stop shop for buyers who are looking to, import from overseas. So nowadays, we actually offer a range of value-adding services. And earlier this year, I should say last year now, I'm still not used to the fact that we're in 2024. But in 2023, we relaunched our buyer-facing logistic marketplace, where our buyers are able to come in and, check out all the freight vendors we have onboarded onto the freight marketplace, compare rates, and our freight forwarders will be able to serve you once you secure your product order informations. You can simply go access the Alibaba.com freight marketplace through our app or on our PC versions. You should be able to find the logistics service on our top banners. And from there, you're able to, simply just adding informations. We offer, two-door, two-port services. Just simply give us like the dimensions, weight informations, destination locations. We're able to give you quotes through different suppliers for you to really compare and match the one that you wanted to work with. And you're also able to track everything through Alibaba.com freight platform. So everything, truly the product you're sourcing, the freight that you're booking are all in one place. And this is also a great place for you to, really get a hold of, what's going on with the freight market, because it is a very volatile market. And also, I guess I'll just kind of talk, adding on this point, we also offer other value-adding services on Alibaba.com, even though I don't have this on my slides today. But one thing that I start to get asked more and more is inspection services. And we actually offer a package from a well-known third-party inspection company such as SGS, BV. When you check out through trade assurance, you're able to add those inspection services onto your orders. So you also get additional information about your production and ensure, if anything were to go wrong, we can discover the issue earlier on instead of, when the product gets here, and then things gets a lot more complicated. And throughout the year on Alibaba.com, we also host a lot of events and a couple of important days to remember. So we have March Expo, which is basically right after Chinese New Year. And also, by the way, Chinese New Year this year is going to be fall on February 10th. So the starting probably a week before that, and also 2 to 3 weeks after that date, you're going to see a lot of your suppliers, if they do celebrate Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year's, they are most likely going to be out of the office. But March is really when the business coming back to normal, and new product, new launch will happening. So March Expo, we do host a lot of promotional event happening on Alibaba.com. Super September is basically the opposite event that our retailers, sellers who get ready for the Black Fridays, Christmas shopping frenzies. This is really when the business buyers start to really prepare for their inventories. Obviously, outside of those 2 months, we actually have online trade shows and elite partner events throughout the year, just to really help you stay on top of different industry trend and showcase the newest and best industry trends and technologies and top sellers. And one more thing is we actually now have a Alibaba.com membership on that offers to our buyers. And because we realized that we have so many buyers on the platform, like I mentioned earlier, we have 20 million buyers across the world. We also wanted to understand our buyers better in terms of where they are in their business journeys. And we wanted to give you benefit that really tailor and fits your profiles. So I would definitely highly recommend you to, qualify your profiles, verify your business profiles, and not on top of the, simply the benefit that you're going to get just for free. One of the most important value of this membership, in my opinion, is to actually get the business badge, especially just to prove that you are a serious business. Because pre-event, I also asked Joey if there's going to be a lot of question around Alibaba.com. And always the top question people ask is, I wanted to have more leverage when it comes to negotiation with my suppliers. So this is actually a widely accepted concept among Alibaba.com sellers now, after we launched the membership program, is they recognize, and they actually take people who are in the enterprise pro level buyer more seriously. And also, don't get fooled by the name. I think we actually had a terrible naming system in this, but it is not truly the enterprise level, but you're able to qualify your business based on your annual revenues. And even the enterprise pro, we're looking at 7 figures. And the enterprise level, we're only looking at buyers who has $200,000 in annual revenues. So we're not really looking at your transaction history on Alibaba.com, but rather you are who you are as a business. So your seller could also understand and wanted to develop partnership with the business type of buyer, instead of just consumers coming to Alibaba.com looking for cheap products just for self-use. And lastly, we have a very special announcement. So last year in October, we launched our first ever premium buyer membership called Alibaba.com Business Plus. And right now we are still in the invitational phase. So this program is not available for everyone on Alibaba.com today. But thank you, Joey and Jamie, for inviting me to this session today. And I do wanted to make this special announcement and make this program available for the AMZ Insider communities. So right now, the paid membership is priced at $199 a year. And we currently offer 4 services and benefit to our buyers. So our buyers will basically get a $100 platform credit directly once you purchase. And those platform credit can be used towards any Alibaba.com trade assurance orders you place on Alibaba.com. So that's already basically $100 back to you. Then monthly, we also offer our buyers a $20 logistic coupons. And those coupons can be used towards a Alibaba.com logistics sponsored air shipment. So you can use that towards maybe ordering examples. And that could really come in handy. And as you see, those really coupon credit adding up together is already paying for the membership itself. Then we have 2 more additional benefit. One is called logistic concierge services. Like I mentioned, I know cross-border trade can be super complex, especially for people who hasn't really managed your own logistic before, but logistic could actually be a big opportunity for you to, improve your margins. Because a seller who arranges your shipment could put in a lot of profit just to cover for themselves. But if you're able to actually manage your entire supply chain, there's a lot of space for optimizations. So we now actually offer this logistic concierge services where we pair you with the account manager, where this person could help you arrange all of your logistic needs, no matter you just wanted to, ship a small parcel or large shipment, or what's better is we can even help you manage logistic consolidations by offering you a 30 days complimentary warehouse in China for the consolidation to happen. And we are also able to pick up all of your product through your suppliers and manage door-to-door shipment. And the last benefit that comes with the pay membership is the trade assurance extension. Like we introduced earlier about the trade assurance. So the original trade assurance gets you 30 days for product coverage. But this benefit was actually inspired by the Amazon community, because we know a lot of the resellers, they don't actually get to hear a lot of product feedback until they started selling on Amazon. And maybe you get bad reviews from, your buyers. And then you realize, oh, like something actually went wrong, but the 30-day has been long past. So we are actually able to get you that 90 days, especially for the buyers who had a little bit longer feedback loops to get you that extra assurance. So along with that, so because like I said, right now this is still an invitational program, but this QR code should be able to get you the access to purchase if this is something you're interested. And this is specifically for the AMZ Insider communities. And we do have more benefit coming onto the program early this year as well. So yeah, so this is at the end of my sessions. And I do have a couple of handout that I can just share with Joey and Jamie after the session, so they can just share through emails and community outreach. Cool.
Really interesting stuff. Thank you, Christina. That's so good. Should we go over to the questions? Christina, do you want me to read them to you? Is that easier? Or you want
sure. Should I go into the chat for the question, or is
Yeah, they're in there. I can read a couple of Jennifer has an interesting one, and this comes up a lot. Like, does it cost the suppliers to sign up for trade assurance because some suppliers, well, her specific supplier is being resistant?
Yes. So basically, we would charge our suppliers a transaction fee if they decided to transact on Alibaba.com. But on the buyer side, there shouldn't be any transaction fee that tied to using trade assurance. But this is a right that our buyers coming to Alibaba.com should be entitled to. And we actually discourage our sellers to encourage our buyers to transact offline, because we hear a lot of horror stories of people end up choosing to transact offline and they chose wire transfer, and then there's honestly nothing as a platform that we can do. But if you do choose to use trade assurance, and if you transact with a credit card, we can help you. Your credit card company could also help you. So you really get that double layer of assurance. But this is definitely something that we notice and hear a lot, that the seller become resistant to use trade assurance. And we actually encourage our buyer to come to us and report those situations as well.
Yeah, I've run into that. What do you think about if you offer to split the cost with them? Like me, if I'm buying from your sellers.
To be honest, I think a more common practice supplier do is they will probably add some cost onto your orders if you decided to use trade assurance, which is kind of similar to how you describe about offering to split the cost. But because this is more a B2B transaction and they quote you for the specific orders, so the supplier can kind of in the background do their math and the calculation on the transaction fee.
Yeah, that does makes sense. And then Jennifer had a follow-up question. Does the logistics concierge service apply when shipping from countries other than China?
That is case by case at the moment. If there's a specific lane that you're looking at, feel free to share that information with me. I can find out more.
Awesome. And then, sorry, I'm going back just to make sure I didn't miss anybody's. Oh, Chris and Melissa asked, Chris asked, is it better to use Alibaba on the app or on your phone or PC?
That really depends on like the buyers. And I have heard people who prefer to use app because like when it comes to getting a message, it felt like I'm using WhatsApp because it's basically tied to your phone and people are just with their phone all the time, but not their laptop. But for me, I do like the PC better just because you get more information. I felt like reading, especially like going through a product listing page, there are so many information I need to read through. I would have preferred the PC. But what I would do say is in the past few years, we're definitely more app first in terms of launching new features. So you might get to see the latest things on the mobile first. Then things will come to catch up on the PC later.
Nice. That makes sense. Kind of jumping around a bit. Luke was asking about just like best practices with inspections because he was going through like 2 inspections or had his first inspection and needs a second inspection. And the supplier he was using did offer to pay for the inspection, but that doesn't always mean that they'll go through Alibaba, right? Unless he orders through Alibaba.
I guess let me clarify the question. So this is a transaction outside of Alibaba, or this is
through Alibaba, but the supplier offered to pay for the extra inspection. Whereas like we always would say as the coaches, like, hey, pay for Alibaba to hire the inspector, like add that on. But this specific supplier said, we'll get the inspection done for you.
Gotcha. I mean, like we can't really force our buyers to choose the inspection partner that we work with, but we work with the renowned ones, so the SGS, BV, those which are like the typical standard big inspection companies. But I do wanted to say like the one that we offer right now, it's pretty standardized. So it's like they take a sample, they do the countings. But I do know that there are buyers who are interested in more customized even testings or like specific customization, customized inspection services. With that, you might need to actually work with a service provider that's outside of Alibaba.com. But I can't give any recommendations on the service providers outside of Alibaba.com, but I would say if you're doing inspection, that's already a pretty good practice. And I do know that there are different types of inspection. You can get it during production just to keep an eye out on the progress. You can do one like, pre-loading. You can do one after it gets here, really depending on your needs. But I would say set the standard with the service provider and be specific about what you need to be inspected with. I guess I would give you an example. So a couple weeks ago, I heard a story about a buyer who is looking to get his product inspected, and I think they've been in the business for very long. And they're pretty professional. I've seen their inspection list. They actually have a checklist where their inspector are able to give scores on specific details of the product that they're manufacturing. So I think that would be a pretty good practice. Just be very specific about your standard with your service provider.
Yeah, great advice. Switching back to trade assurance, Judy was asking to clarify if you've communicated with your supplier outside of Alibaba, would that void trade assurance?
Yeah, it wouldn't. Obviously we encourage our buyer to keep the record, so it just become easier and also easier for buyers because we have run into cases where a buyer had to like forward us like 50 emails or like take 50 screenshot from their WhatsApp. But for us, if the communication is on Alibaba.com, like we're just able to access it easier. But with that being said, like if you do have any external evidence, it's not going to go against you in the trade assurance dispute.
Good advice. Haley kind of has a specific situation with a supplier. The supplier is ready to ship her sample, but then she learned that they outsourced it to another supplier to create the finish that Haley requested. And that third party has a really high MOQ. What do you suggest?
Okay, so is this I guess let me learn a bit more about the situation. So the sample is through supplier A, and I assume Haley has already got the sample and she's happy with it, but only to find out that in order for her to place the full order, now supplier B has to get involved with a higher MOQ. Is this the
Exactly. Yeah.
I have to say this is probably the first time hearing cases like this where there is a additional supplier gets involved. Honestly, like MOQ is something that it's, like we can't really force our suppliers to give buyer low MOQ. It is really a number that the quantity they get to set themselves. But because I also saw a question about how do I negotiate MOQ with the suppliers. Just general advice as a platform is you kind of have to show your supplier your intention with the purchase and really to show them that you are a serious business buyer with business plan coming in to continuously maybe order the same product, because I think when it comes to a supplier who has very high MOQ, I think what they're really doing is they're trying to weed out people who are only getting 2 unit or 10 unit just even for self-use. But the trick of negotiating MOQ is to convince your seller that I'm serious about this purchase. I'm actually using this for my business. And I have planned to, continue to come back and establish this partnership, but I don't feel comfortable, like, jumping in and just commit a big order upfront. And I mean, like, this is a pretty standard practice in cross-border trade as well. I'm sure a lot of the supplier will understand. And like I mentioned about the membership, one thing I was very surprised to hear, and this is just me speaking from a buyer side team member, is the membership is actually more widely accepted by the seller now, and they do care about, they use that as a concept to vet their buyers as well. So if you do have a registered business, I definitely recommend you to get your account qualified so your supplier can also have something to reference on when it comes to your identity.
Yeah, that's interesting. Haley, we might have to talk about that specific situation too, separately to kind of navigate that.
Yeah, and also maybe JP and Chris, maybe they can share our buyer team email in the chat. So if Haley, you wanted to just shoot us an email, maybe we can get our team involved to take a look at the case as well.
Evan, gotta love Evan. He says, is there any tips to get samples sent without making the payment up front?
So a more common practice is the seller will waive your sample fee when you place a production orders. So which kind of also, obviously protect them from losing as well. But we do have suppliers who offer free samples when it comes to product. There is actually a filter called free samples on Alibaba.com where you can check out to see. And maybe you can do a search for the specific product you're looking for to see if there is more supplier who are sample free friendly on that front.
Luke has an interesting question. Does requesting a second inspection due to the first one failing give negative marks to the supplier?
Not at all. And I would say this is actually a pretty good practice. Like, especially the first one failed, I would definitely not rush to place a production order. And one thing that it's not a misconception, but I do hear a lot of buyers saying they get really nervous. They felt like, the supplier is much bigger than who they are and they don't feel like they have the right leveraging powers. This is definitely not the dynamic that we want our buyer and sellers to feel. And we want them to feel like they are a very equal trade and partners in this, and we are a platform to help them establish a business partnerships. So don't ever feel like you're forced to do what your supplier tells you. And especially in cases like this, where your first inspection failed, I think they should be the one feel bad, and they should be the one even offer a second inspection to show their capability. And we have a lot of other options on the platform as well, just in case. So don't ever feel like you're forced to do something.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're just about out of time. But this was really, really insightful. Really appreciate that we were able to pull this off and get this together. Christina, Chris, and JP, we really appreciate you guys all for being
For
here.
having us.
It was awesome. Thank you guys all, and great questions too. So awesome.
Look at the chat. Everyone's saying thank you. They thought it was amazing.
Thank you. Hope to come back soon.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Have a good day. Have a good week, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.